Hello YouTubers, and welcome to this review video of the laptop you can see in front of you, or in fact the Ultrabook that you can see in front of you, the Dell XPS 13. Now this is the L322X model, so it's the one with the 1080p screen and a few other improvements. If we start with the hardware, it's got a aluminium shell and a carbon fibre bottom, which keeps it nice and light. The styling is very indicative of the Apple MacBook Air. It's very similar. You could, if you literally take that and put an Apple logo, you wouldn't know the difference. It's a 13-inch screen, but they say it has the footprint of an 11-inch laptop. If we start at the front, absolutely nothing on there. On the right-hand side, we have a mini display port, a USB 3 port, and a battery indicator. If you press that, it shows you how much battery you have left. That's it on the right-hand side. If we move around to the left, there's another USB 3, a headphone jack, and a power. Now, connectivity wise, that is all you get. There's no HDMI, there's only 2 USB ports, there's no network port, for example. That could be limiting to some people that like to work in an office. There's no dock connector, that kind of thing. But this really is an ultra portable, and ports are at a premium. But they have got the basics covered. Your display port, which can output, you can get a HDMI adapter for that. Your USB ×2, so that's really handy. If we look to the bottom, it's very simple. There's no ports or anything to access the battery. It's all, you have to unscrew the chassis to get into it. And there's a grill at the bottom there, and there's a little ridge, so when the laptop is sat flat on a desk, it's not actually flush, so there's room for airflow. There's a little kind of aluminium flap here, which underneath shows you all the Dell service tags and that kind of thing in your Windows serial key. This version comes with Windows 8. Well, I won't go too much into Windows 8, as you know, there's plenty of other videos about that. This is mainly about this laptop. If we open her up, one thing I will say about the hinge is it only opens that far. So if you need it to open more than that far, for example to 180 degrees, then you're out of luck with this. It's a pretty big angle, but some people might find that annoying. You have a 13.3-inch 1080p WLED display. Now this really is edge to edge. I'll show you that in a minute, guys, but that's how they keep it within the supposed 11-inch frame. The screen is literally edge to edge. The camera at the top is 1.3 megapixels. I think that's the same on all the models. If we look down at the keyboard, it's a chiclet style, very similar to the MacBooks. There is a backlight on it, which is really handy. I'll show you that in a second. On the top, you've got all the function buttons that you would come to expect: the brightness, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, the display, that kind of thing. The power button is here on the left. It's got a really big trackpad for the size of laptop it is. I'm not overly keen on this trackpad. I'll show you some examples in a minute. Whether drivers will improve it, it's not super sensitive, and sometimes it misses some of your inputs, that kind of thing. It clicks all the way around, so you can right click over here, you can left click over here. There's 2 buttony areas at the bottom. You can use it for gestures. I've got them turned off, to be honest. I don't like them in a laptop. So the internals on this model specifically, this has an i5 processor, which is a 2.7 gigahertz. It's got 8 gigabytes of RAM, DDR3 RAM, I think it is in this. It's got a 128 gigabyte solid state drive, so that's going to be really fast to boot. I'll show you that in a second. It's got Bluetooth 4.0. It's got a 6-cell battery, so that's going to last you quite a while on this. So looks wise, this laptop really is beautiful. It's got the looks of the MacBook Air. It's got the thin, down to 6mm at this end, slightly thicker at this end. Really light. Size wise, that is fantastic. You know, your average 13-inch laptop is much bigger than this. The edge-to-edge screen really helps there. In my opinion, this is one of the best looking Ultrabooks on the market. So I'm going to do a little boot speed test for you guys. If I press the button at the same time as the start button on here, if I can. Here we go. There's the Windows 8 loading screen. And boom. Now that was shut down completely. Literally shut down. It wasn't in sleep mode, and it booted in 7 seconds, 6.8 seconds. That is really impressive. That's the combination of the solid state drive, the fast processor, and Windows 8 being really optimized for solid state drives. This also shows off the really edge-to-edge screen that this laptop has. I mean, a lot of laptops, like you might see my Dell XPS M1330, there's quite a large border around the outside. This screen is really edge to edge. It's really beautiful. It's glossy. Some people might not like the glossy screen. It's not great in, like, if you're using it outside, daylight, that kind of thing, in bright conditions. I like it though, because most of the time I'm using my laptop inside. It runs almost completely silently. I can't hear a thing at the moment. You often sometimes get a little bit of a buzz from a processor or something when it's doing heavy processing, that kind of thing, but you may not be able to see it here actually. But sometimes when you move your finger onto the mouse and move it straight away, it doesn't always register your movement straight away. Sometimes you have to wiggle it a bit before it will start if you haven't been using it for a while. I'm not sure if that's something to do with drivers. I've read a few things online. Maybe the drivers might update that. I've had one or two issues with Wi-Fi on this as well. I've not extensively tested it. Sometimes when I've had USB devices in, the Wi-Fi drops out every few minutes. I think that's a driver issue. It's towards the top range of the market. There's a lot of cheaper, maybe made out of plastic Ultrabooks that are available, similar specs, but if you're going for the design, durability, this laptop really won't let you down. There's one or two faults that I've gone over. The trackpad isn't super amazing. If you've used, for example, the Apple trackpad on there, you might find this one is a little sluggish, but if this is your first Ultrabook, then you're probably not going to notice. The keyboard is really good, backlit, so you can see it in the dark, that kind of thing. If you have been, thank you for watching. Please hit subscribe up here to be notified of my new videos, and please like and comment on this video. If you found it useful, please like it. If you have any comments or user reviews, comments on this laptop, that kind of thing, please let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next video.